Hello, how are you both?
Hi,
Good.
Tatiana.
How are
Thank you for
you?
having us.
Thank you. I've gotten to see 20 minutes so far of Brahmastra, and I'm so excited. Looks like so much fun. Ranbir, I know that this has been like 10 years in the making for the director, for Ayan, and he
Mhm,
said that you were the first person he spoke to about it. What has it
mhm.
been like being on this journey with him for so long?
Well, it's been a privilege. It's been a privilege as an actor, as somebody who's also an aspiring filmmaker, is to see the kind of dedication, hard work, and passion that Ayan has put in over these 10 years. He started with a very original idea that came to him at one point. He's of course been a big fan of Indian mythology, of Western films like Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and to kind of write a story from scratch and write it over three parts, which is very rich in our Indian culture, which is inspired by Indian mythology. And to have a front seat row to that experience has really been a privilege for me.
I love that. I also love that no matter, what powers Shiva has, Isha is really, his superpower, his love for her. Can you talk about her role in the film Alia and what it means to portray her?
Well, I think one of the things that Ayan describes very beautifully about Isha in the film is sort of, the dialogue that she even sort of says in the beginning of Kesarya is that, do you know the meaning of Isha? And he says, and she says Parvati, and she says, अगर शिवा का साथ पार्वती नहीं देगी तो कौन देगा? And I think the sort of unition and the collaboration that they have through the journey of the film and through the beginning of the film. Of course, it's all very important for the narrative and the storytelling, but Isha really becomes Shiva's Shakti, which is Shiva's power, and maybe his support or his anchor through this discovery. Um, and I think that's one of the most simplest, beautiful ways you can put it without giving too much away. Also, just somebody who has, and I had really had to commit to that in terms of a very real way, because at the end of the day, she's a modern girl living in the modern world, responding to all these fantastical elements in a very authentic, genuine way. So she's really got this spirit of adventure and believing in something special or something that is larger, or maybe science or something that is bigger than all of us put together. And I'm somebody like that. I always feel like there are like larger plans, like everything happens for a reason. Like I'm somebody who believes in all of that. I have a really, really wild imagination. I would imagine Isha has the same, because she really, really submits to a lot of things that one would maybe feel scared to submit to.
That's amazing. You mentioned earlier, like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings as influences. And I do love how the film really feels like a melding of this kind of like Western adventure epic, but also Eastern mythology, religion, spirituality. Can you talk about what your favorite aspect for each of you has been of merging these two worlds?
Our stories, the Indian mythology stories is so vast. There's so many of them. We've kind of grown up listening to them, and still, I mean, I'm sure we've just heard 10% of them. But to make a modern contemporary film, but still have aspects of our culture and heritage and Indian mythology, there is a fine line, because it seems odd, right? Because that's happened thousands and thousands of years before in these stories, and this is contemporary modern India. But kind of to make it believable and to make it to make it work, it has been such a challenge for the writer, and also for us, as actors, to deeply understand so that we can be convinced while we're performing. I think that's something which has been a big learning for me.
Now, I know you are making some Hollywood moves, Alia, with Heart of Stone with Gal Gadot. Can you talk about that experience and how, if there is any difference at all when it comes to working on something like that?
No, actually, I've been asked this question a lot. Like, is it any different? I mean, honestly, it's the same. A film set all over the world is the same. There's the same dedication and energy to get the work done on a daily basis, to, meet one person's vision. We're all just pieces of the big puzzle. But the experience was genuinely extremely, fulfilling, fascinating. Quickest film, I think, of my career. Also my first action film that I shot being pregnant. So many
Oh,
firsts.
wow.
But yeah, they were so kind. They took such good care of me, Netflix and Skydance and the whole team and Gal and Jamie and the director Tom Harper, everybody. I mean, I'm so grateful that my first, endeavor in an English language massive motion picture was such a like dream. It was a 7-star experience. So yeah.
Wonderful. Ranbir, you mentioned being an aspiring filmmaker. What have you learned from Ayan that you're going to take into your own projects?
I think his dedication, his the sacrifice. I think to be a storyteller, to be a director, there are many sacrifices that you have to make. Maybe it's your personal life, maybe it's friendship. It's your time, it's how much you give to the story, how much you kind of surrender to it. I think I've really seen that. I've had a good first-hand look at the way Ayan has made this film. I was also worked with a director called Sanjay Leela Bansali, who's also made a film called Gangubai with Alia. And I saw that same kind of passion, dedication, and sacrifice in him. And I think great storytellers really have that quality. I'm a bit spoiled because I'm an actor. I've been working as an actor for 15 years, and actors have it quite easier than a director, I must say. So the simplest quality of a director with sacrifice, dedication, passion is something that I love.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you both so much. You guys have done a fabulous job, and I cannot wait to see the rest of the film.